I found these beautiful mirror sublimation tumblers. That's what we're going to work on today. I ordered a case of these multicolor 20-ounce skinny sublimation ready tumblers that have a mirror effect to them, and they are just gorgeous the way they are. A few things that I'm going to be using in this video is sublimation paper. I use 125. I really like the saturation level and then what it gives off when it's sublimated. This one is going to be HTV Ront. I am going to be using shrink sleeves and I'm going to be using heat resistant tape. A few other things that we're going to have is a heat gun, heat resistant gloves, and a cooling mat. And of course, we need our heat source. And for my tumblers, I use an air fryer. I believe this is a 7-quart air fryer. It's the basket type, and I just removed the basket. And then you can see in the picture that I've put some silicone wraps in the bottom just so that the tumblers don't scratch. For these amazing 20-ounce straight skinny mirror tumblers, I went looking for some images that would show a lot of the color behind them and a lot of the mirror. So I went to my Creative Fabrica account and I downloaded some that I thought would look good on these straight tumblers. So for this, I'm going to open a new Word document. And I am going to go into layouts here and I'm going to make sure that it's 8.5 by 11 and I want orientation at landscape and I want to have my margins set to 0. So as you can see there, I set custom margin in there to 0. So now I'm going to insert my first tumbler wrap. And so I am going to go to my downloads here. I'm going to look at these ones that have more or less of the white background because I think these will look really good on the color. So now that came in at 8.2 height and 9.3 wide. And that is a standard 20-ounce tumbler, but you always need to measure just in case. But I also like to overlap just a little bit. I don't try to get my seams exact perfect because it gives you too much headache. So I'm just going to go up here. I'm going to go to 8.3 and 9.41. You can see that up here that I've got my size there. And then I'm going to do the wrap and the through. I probably wouldn't have to do this because I'm going to be printing this and I'm going to be reversing it when I print. But I always do the wrap and through so that if you did want to, let's just do something here. Let's insert some word art just so you can see how this works. If I don't do the wrap and through, I can't put a name on here. So I am going to write Cindy here, and then I'm going to do the wrap and through here also. And I will make this bigger. Let's see, go to home. Make this about 200 and see what we get here. All right, go, and then I'm going to change the font here. I'll find something pretty here. That one, I really like that. I use that a lot. This one looks cute. So now let's change the color. Maybe go with a pretty blue here. See, if I would not do the wrap and through, I would not be able to move my image where I want it on this tumbler. So now I'm going to shrink this down a little bit. Maybe got that a little too big there. So I'm going to pick this up here and I'm going to twist it, give it a little twist. And so as you can see, you can move things around this way and you can put them where you want them. But if you don't do the wrap and through, you're not going to be able to do that. I'm going to shrink this down to 100 so it gets a little easier to move around. You're not going to be able to do that. This here. There we go. Now I'm going to move this baby up where we can see it so you can actually see that. And then you can put that anywhere that you want if you want to have a name on there. So you can go to format here. You can send it backwards, bring it forward. So see if you do touch the turtle here, you can send it backward, bring it forward, or whatever you need to do there. And depending on how you layer, I'm not going to leave my name on here because this isn't going to be for me. It's going to be one that I'll probably sell, but I'm really excited to print this out. So let's go into print now. So I am going to go into my printer options and find the printer that you're going to be using. I'm obviously not using my Dell. I'm going to be using my EcoTank 2760 that I converted over to sublimation. And now we're going to go into printer properties. And we are going to make sure that we have premium presentation paper matte. We're going to have high quality. And then we're going to go up to more options here. And in image options, we are going to emphasize more. And we are going to emphasize thin lines. And then we're going to turn high speed off, and we're going to mirror our image. Then we're going to hit OK, and we are ready to print. Like I said, you need to have a sublimation printer to print these images, and you have to use sublimation ink. Here's my sublimation print on the left, and then I hand trim with a good sharp scissors. Now I've wrapped the sublimation print tightly around my tumbler, and I have lightly taped it with the heat resistant tape because the shrink wrap is going to do the rest. Now you can see on the left that I have put this in the shrink sleeve, and I like to put the seam of the shrink wrap on the seam that I've taped. That's just my preference. I don't know if it makes any difference. That's just the way I do it. And then I go over it lightly with a heat gun. This is not necessary if you're putting it into a hot air fryer or a hot convection oven because it will shrink on its own. I just like to have a little bit of control. I preheat my air fryer. I run these at 385 degrees Fahrenheit for 4 minutes, and I rotate after the 3rd minute. So you are going to want to preheat your air fryer or your convection oven. I put mine in the air fryer with the seam down for 3 minutes, and this image is showing after the 3 minutes. Then after that 3 minutes, I rotate it to seam up for the final minute. And here I've just taken it out of the air fryer there on the left. Make sure you use heat resistant gloves. It's very, very hot. And then I like to unwrap mine when they're hot. I find that the shrink wrap comes off easier. And I don't use any tools because the tools can damage your print when they're hot. So my favorite part is the reveal. I actually had to video this to show how great it is because the mirror picks up everything. It's just incredibly beautiful. Really turned out good. So I quickly printed 3 more images and did the other 3. Here's the final product of the 4 that I did. They turned out absolutely gorgeous. I will have a link below for items that I've used, and I will also have a link down there for Creative Fabrica. All of the designs came from my Creative Fabrica All Access account. Thank you for watching my video, and please subscribe to my channel.